Wow. Tiffany Stratton just cashed in. We got a new women's champion. We're watching SmackDown. It's a new era of Wrestling Uncensored. And it starts now. My goodness. Johnny!
Well, welcome to 2025, Dave. Now we just do watch-alongs again. WWE watch-along, SmackDown, on YouTube.
Yeah. Weird.
Different. Yep.
It's weird.
No commercials.
Yeah, we're watching SmackDown. I know a lot of people in Canada are having trouble watching SmackDown tonight, obviously, because it's been difficult. You can't find it, searching. I just had to...
It's hard.
Yeah, it was extremely hard to find. I had to go on Twitter and search SmackDown Canada, and then I saw somebody posted a link. WWE has it on their page, but it's unlisted, so you can't search for it. I don't know why they did it like that.
Yeah, I use Google to find it, and I found it through a website, and then when I clicked on it, to watch it on YouTube, it said it's been blocked in my region. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. They did not make this very user-friendly whatsoever. You really had to work hard. I finally have it now on YouTube. I eventually clicking a lot of times. Eventually it worked. But pain in the butt. And now I just don't want to turn it off because I'm going to lose it. But you can find it if you look hard enough on YouTube in Canada.
Yeah. I'm watching it on YouTube right now. They're stealing our gimmick. They're on YouTube now. We're the YouTube guys, John.
Just for tonight. It said, I think there was a message too that January 10th you can watch this on Netflix.
This episode of SmackDown?
I think for the past year or so, I think they might have it or something. Of all the past episodes, at least for a year or something. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of WWE programming on Netflix already. Lots.
Well, you already have it too. I haven't got it yet. I'll probably get it on Monday, but how is it so far?
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. I haven't really watched any because I watch enough wrestling. I'm not trying to watch more. I've seen all the stuff that they have, John. It's stuff from the past. I've seen it. Some of the stuff I've seen more than once, so I'm good. But, it's all the Rumbles, all the Manias, old episodes of Raw and SmackDown. WWE Network stuff. There's a whole library of stuff on Netflix now.
I'll look forward to checking it out when I get Netflix. I'm going to have to get it for Monday because the big Raw Netflix show's coming up. So
yeah.
I'm
surprised you didn't get it yet.
I'll wait till the end. I don't need to give them my money right away.
All right. Yeah, so SmackDown is not on TV in Canada tonight. It's only on Netflix, and it's impossible to find. So a lot of Canadians have not watched SmackDown tonight. So we'll fill you in on what happened. Not much. And the third hour is going on right now. Because it's on... Sorry, John, what?
You said it's on Netflix? It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Did I say Netflix? Next week it'll be on Netflix. Okay, next week it'll be on Netflix. It's not on Netflix yet. Tonight, because... So what happened is... The Sportsnet deal with WWE expired on the 1st of January. So WWE is not on Sportsnet anymore, but the live Netflix programming only kicks in on Monday night when it kicks in for Raw in the US. So despite the fact that we already have a whole library of programming internationally, for Canada and other countries around the world, there's already stuff from WWE on Netflix. SmackDown, for some reason, tonight wasn't on Netflix, even though it should have been.
I don't know what to tell you.
Why did they have to make it so hard? They should have just put it on Netflix a week early. Who cares? But they couldn't do that, so they had to stick it on YouTube for tonight only. And it's a 3-hour SmackDown because now SmackDown is 3 hours. Because USA Network used to have Raw, but they lost it to Netflix, so they wanted a 3-hour show, so they got SmackDown to be a 3-hour show now, which makes it so long, so boring, We had was it Meat Shin versus Piper Niven match that went like through a commercial break? It took forever. It wasn't good.
Well, I see the positives and negatives of this because, like, some matches can actually breathe. Like, this match wouldn't be able to breathe if it was a regular show. Now, granted, you didn't like this match whatsoever, so that didn't help at all. But matches that you might actually like I thought Nakamura and Andrade, like, at least they got a bit more time than usual. I thought that was, yeah, you might say mid, whatever, but still, like, that deserved a bit more time. So it's glad that you get to see that more. And, man, you've seen a lot of Pretty Deadly tonight. I know your son must love that. So that's great, no?
The increase of Pretty Deadly is good. Giving them more TV time is nice. We did see a lot of Pretty Deadly. I mean, they're getting involved in the tag team title situation, right? Because they said last week that it was the Legado del Fantasma guys that attacked Street Profits, Los Garzas, who are part of Legado del Fantasma, right?
Exactly, yes.
Right. He said it was Los Garzas who attacked Street Profits, and then Los Garzas were mad at them tonight, and then DIY was saying that no, it wasn't them who attacked Street Profits. It was Los Garzas. It wasn't DIY, but Apollo Crews said that it was DIY, and the DIY were trying to convince Pretty Deadly to stick to their story with, what's his name, Brutus Magnus? What's his Nick all this? Nick all this?
He is all that.
He's all that and all this. Nick all this. He was accusing DIY of attacking Street Profits, and he was mad about this for some reason, even though it's wrestling and, who cares. But so DIY was trying to convince Pretty Deadly to stick to their story and to try to buddy up to Pretty Deadly as well, and kind of saying, we might give you a tag team title shot if you help us out by defeating Motor City Machine Guns tonight. So then we had a DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns match, which...
It happened. It went down. There's something to that, though, by the way. Do you notice now they don't call disqualifications? They just say matches that end with interference. It's just a no contest. I don't know if you caught that, but it seems to be a new thing, WWE. It's just no contest now.
I don't know. I think there's still disqualifications, but the no contest made sense in this instance because it was Pretty Deadly and one of the Garzas. It was Deadly, and it was actually, what is it? Elton Prince and Kip Wilson. It was Kip Wilson, and I know the difference, okay, John? It was Kip Wilson and Angel Garza wrestling, and they were ringside for the match, and they kind of spilled into the ring, and they fell on a DIY and a Motor City Machine Gun. So, like, they both took the brunt of the fall, and it was kind of unintentional, and that's a no contest. I thought that made sense.
Well, I don't know about that. I want to question that. Thanks for the super chat, but I question that because both DIY had them in a submission. So it cost DIY only, really. I mean, no, so it cost the Motor City Machine Guns only because they had DIY in submissions, both of them.
Right.
That's a
whatever.
DQ, no? But
I mean, I don't care. I just,
Just saying.
I think the bottom line, John, the fact of the matter is this, John, is that Pretty Deadly were involved in a tag team title match. They caused the finish of a tag team title match, and the tag team champions are kind of using them as stooges to do their bidding, and they may kind of turn babyface off of it and take the tag team titles off the stinking DIY. Which, really, John, looking at the landscape, is not the worst thing that could happen. Would you rather the Motor City Machine Guns or the DIY as tag team champions? Or Pretty Deadly? I would say yes, boy, to Pretty Deadly. A hearty yes, boy. Come on. Really?
Well, I think Ryan had the best answer right there. He said the Hardys. I think that's probably the best one. I think
The Hardys.
You can have all the choice.
They're a little old.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, they are a little old, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Out of all the other choices, actually, out of all the choices, honestly, I'd go with the Street Profits. I know that's met with the utter silence, but still, regardless, I think the Street Profits are the best tag team right now. We're going to go through Tag Team of the Year because I did all that for the whole 2024 year in review. I know you probably didn't think about that, but I thought about tag teams and for the women's division, too.
It's great. I'm excited about your year in review, John. John is going to review the year for us, and I'm going to give my thoughts. I have a few thoughts on the year, but overall, I'm going to let John lead the show on that one. He's going to lead the charge. Give me a bit of a backseat break, which is nice. I need that once in a while. Right, John? First show of the year. Give Dave a little break. 2025 is all about Johnny taking charge and Dave chilling out. All right? How about that?
Should we talk about AJ, who's in the chat? And, AJ now is apparently the undisputed WWE champion now? Talk about that?
I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about that?
We won't talk.
You take charge. Talk about it. Go ahead. Explain what the hell you're talking about.
He looked pretty nice, with his WWE replica title, both of them. He has the WWE title, and he's got the Winged Eagle title. Looks pretty good, pretty sweet. Those are huge titles, and AJ looked pretty fine with them.
And are they his belts? I don't understand where he got these belts. It's quite a mystery.
I don't think they're his titles. He talked to me with a friend or something that they're going to see me actually January 18th, so that's going to be pretty awesome. Bring the titles, AJ. I wouldn't mind seeing them in person. Look pretty nice.
I think the most important thing that's happened on SmackDown so far, the only real important thing that's happened so far, is Tiffy Time is the new women's champion. She won. She cashed in the Money in the Bank, finally. It was a match between Nia Jax and Naomi. The Nia Jax eventually won because of interference from Tiffy Time. Tiffy Time hit Naomi with the briefcase. She teased the cash in for Money in the Bank. Hit Naomi with the briefcase when Candice LeRae was distracting the ref, which allowed Nia Jax to do a bonsai drop on Naomi, a pretty messy bonsai drop. And then Naomi lost. And then they were all in the ring celebrating, and Bianca was checking on Naomi. And then Tiffy Time encouraged Nia Jax to go and attack Bianca. And when she did that, Tiffy then attacked Candice LeRae and kicked her out of the ring. And then Bianca hit her finish on Nia Jax. And then Tiffy threw Bianca over the announce table, told the ref she's cashing in the briefcase, hit a moonsault, and pinned Nia Jax. 1, 2, 3. New champion. Right? Did she hit Nia with the briefcase too?
I think maybe on the outside she did or something.
There was a melee going on. But, that was basically what happened. She kind of orchestrated this whole thing where she tricked Nia into attacking Bianca, which backfired on Nia. And she kind of knew it would backfire on Nia somehow. And then she attacked Candice LeRae because she was like, fuck it, I'm cashing it.
Apparently Raw has a show after the Netflix show now on YouTube.
What do you mean?
I don't know if you're seeing, they're showing this right now, if you're catching that.
I didn't see. What did it say?
You'll see the graphic. It's going to be coming up soon. They have a show
after LA Knight promo? I'm watching LA Knight right now.
Oh, you may have missed it then, I guess. I'm watching the LA Knight too. Yeah, you missed it.
Yeah. LA Knight attacked Nakamura tonight after Nakamura beat Andrade. LA Knight still wants the U.S. title. Cool, Johnny.
But going back to the Tiffany thing, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, that whole segment. That just seemed like a lot of ridiculousness to finally get to what they wanted to get to. Not a lot of thought put into that, because one, why did Bianca do that? Why did she beat up Nia? Like, exactly? Like, what was the revenge there whatsoever? Like,
well, Nia was attacking her first.
All right. But then Tiffany just throws her out, and, like, Bianca's taking pretty much nothing, yet throwing her over the table, and she's dead.
She took a bump. I mean, it's not like there was a lot of time after that where Tiffany did the moonsault. No, there wasn't, John.
I have to cash it in. Then they have to announce it. Then
they didn't announce anything. They announced nothing. She went, cashed in, slid in the ring, went to the top rope, moonsault, 1, 2, 3. I don't think there was an announcement until after when she won. I just watched it again because I came in. I left the room, John. I left the room and I was like, "What just happened?" I left the room and I see Tiffany holding the belt. Okay, because I see Nia, Tiffany, and Candice celebrating in the ring. I go, I go to get a drink. I'm like, well, whatever. We're going to commercial, whatever. I come back in the room, and Tiffany's holding up the belt. I was like, what the hell just happened? She must have cashed in. So I rewound, and I just watched it, and I saw exactly how it transpired. And it was like, nope, boom, boom, boom. Tiffany, like, wasted no time. She tossed Bianca over, slid in the ring. She said to the ref, I'm cashing in, slid in the ring, moonsault, 1, 2, 3. It was quick.
This is the problem with our watch longs. We're going to miss things. Like, you're going to have to rewatch this again because I'm telling you, it wasn't that quick. But still, like, I mean, the end result, that's the best thing. Like, Alex is right. Like, I'm happy Tiffany won, so good for her. And, like, I'm glad we can finally move forward with this because this took forever to finally get to this point, and now we can move on and do something else.
Speaking of taking forever, have you noticed that on this 3-hour SmackDown, they're just milking the hell out of entrances? It's like half entrances, this show. You know, because
it's already the main event.
They tell you before your match, right? If you've followed wrestling for a while, you have, 15 minutes with entrances. The entrances are counted into your match time in the WWE, right?
I don't know about now.
I think it is still, John. I think still they go, you have, this much time with entrances. Do you see how long it took Solo to get into the ring? Solo took like 4 minutes, 5 minutes to get into the ring. Then they went to commercial. And now we're watching Sammy and the Usos walk through the crowd. They've been walking through the crowd since I've been complaining about this long entrance shit. I mean, it's been happening for a while, John. They're still not in the ring.
Yeah, they're just going to milk a lot of things. We saw this earlier tonight, too. There was a lot of entrances that kind of took a bit of time, I felt. Like Nakamura as well. They really milked the whole entrance of that as well.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of this now on SmackDown to pretty much fill up the 3 hours. But I think in some cases it's all right because I think with Jey Uso, this shows you how over he is, that he could just have this long entrance. He won't get any more over because this is really the best part about him. But still, at least he gets this part now on TV.
You got like a quarter of the crowd doing this. There's a lot of people not doing it.
I mean, if they're around him,
it looks not great. I mean, there's a lot. They're showing a lot of people just kind of standing around looking.
Well, it's long too. I can understand why they wouldn't want to do this for that long.
Tired, man. It's a long ass show.
And how about that too? Now the announcement that Toronto is going to get 3 hours of SmackDown, and then they're going to get the Elimination Chamber. That's a long weekend right there for them. Enjoy.
Yep. Have fun. You're going to be
we get nothing.
$6,000 for the weekend of tickets too.
For one night, maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Montreal gets nothing. We get nothing in Montreal, sadly. They're going to Cincinnati for that Raw. It's kind of a shame.
Is it? Don't come. I don't want it. I don't want it right now. If this is what if this is it, I don't want it. Because I know I'm going to go and I know I'm going to pay like crazy money and like it's going to suck. I don't want it. Because like no matter what, if they come, like I'm going to go and I don't want bad tickets. So I'm going to get decent seats and it's going to cost me stupid money. And then I'm going to be pissed because I wasted a bunch of money on a shitty WWE show because the product is like right now. Because AEW is really bad. You're like, they're not pushing them anymore. You know, they're not like making them be interesting on a week-by-week basis because they're not interesting at all. They're looking real Mickey Mouse right now, so WWE is like, well, we got no competition. We can just kind of cruise control till WrestleMania season and whatever. Just keep cashing the checks. Keep making money. Because if AEW gets anybody over, just buy him eventually. You know? Swerve's contract's up. You don't think they're going to buy him? So many guys they could just buy up. You know? When's the last time WWE did a major... stealing of talent? They haven't done that in a while, where they just grabbed up 3 or 4 hot talents from one territory. When's the last time they did a purge? They do that because they can, because they got deep pockets. I mean, it's a matter of time. They're just, I mean, that's what they kind of need to revitalize their product. When WWE's been kind of stale, a purge of talent has always spiced things up. Hot talent from another promotion always helps.
Well, it's going to be hard to get the top talent, though. Because I think, like Swerve, MJF, I think they've signed multi-year deals, so it's tough to get that top talent. You might be able to get some bottom tier, but top tier, good luck.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to push the hell out of Pentagon. They're running video packages for them. I think they're going to do something serious with them.
Well, probably Pentagon will be Ray's partner, right? Because Ray's going to be wrestling the New Day on Raw. That's one of the big matches planned, but we don't know who his partner's going to be. It's probably going to be Pentagon. It makes a lot of sense.
Ooh, that'd be pretty good.
Raw would be very interesting. It's funny watching Raw this week. Did you catch that? Where they're like, oh, Raw, Netflix is the biggest thing ever. But tonight, well, it's also very special tonight, too. It's like, are you kidding me? You hype up the Raw Netflix, how great it was. And what do you have tonight? Not really much. But it wasn't that bad, I thought, Raw. Like, at least the last hour, I thought was kind of decent. I mean, Punk and Seth, that was a good ending. And I don't know what you thought, but I thought Io and Lyra, I thought that was a very good match.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought Punk and Seth promo was the highlight, though.
Of course.
Right?
I mean, that was Raw pretty much in a nutshell, those two things.
Seth said some great stuff about Punk. Punk said some great stuff about Seth. You know, how Punk went on his buddy's podcast and ran down the company, did everything he could to bring it down, and then he took money from the competition, and that didn't work out for him. And now he's here, and he's a hypocrite and all this stuff. And Punk was like, look, but Seth said some stuff about, oh, you took your ball and went home. Punk's like, that's something that they say, when they want to make you look bad because you're standing up for yourself. Did Stone Cold take his ball and go home? Did your wife take her ball and go home? I thought Punk was pretty good, calling Seth like corporate. I thought it was real interesting when Punk at one point said to Seth, I didn't like the guy in charge, and he's not here anymore, and he didn't like me, but he liked you a lot. And I was like, ooh, what do you mean by that? And when Punk said that, did you notice Seth was like, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Like, Seth was like, that was the only time when Seth was kind of like, hey. Every other time, Seth was kind of like, all right, like doing this whole Seth Rollins thing. But then Punk goes, he liked you. Vince liked you a lot. Like the way he said it, and Seth was like, shut up. I was like, It was a little bit, just knowing what we know about Vince, John. Mm-hmm. And the way Punk said it. And the way Seth reacted. It was interesting. It was an interesting moment for the promo. Did you not pick up on that at all?
Well, like there was a lot of tension. Like I got to first give Seth a lot of credit because I usually find Punk destroys him in these promos. I felt like there was a lot of give and take here. It wasn't just one sided. I thought Seth had some very good points too as well. Like when Seth talked about how his wife decided to stay home and be a mom to a kid that Punk would never even have. I mean that was also a very good line as well. Like he had some good lines back to him, and yeah, there was a bit of tension there. But that's what's good, like, and mentioning the competition too. Like you could tell a little bit with Punk, like you little SOB for saying stuff like that, because that's a dark period in his life now. Sadly, the way he looks at it, seems. So to mention that, I'm surprised though that he will say the competition, because that's acknowledging them as competition. That was very surprising that they did that.
Mm-hmm. But he also said, like, but we won.
Yeah.
And you're trying to come here and wave the flag, but you don't get to wave it because you didn't fight the battle. Like, that stuff where he's like, you didn't fight the battle, you don't get to wave the flag because I was here and you're, coming through. And that rang true because Punk has come in and been like, oh, WWE, I'm home. It's so great to be back in WWE, and WWE's always been the place. And it's like, really, dude? Because a few years ago, you were like, this place is the worst. And even if Vince leaves, I kind of remember a certain pipe bomb promo where he said that I'd like to think that this place would be better after Vince McMahon dies, but it won't because it'll be taken over by his, what did he call him? Stupid daughter and idiot son-in-law?
Well, I thought it was D-bag daughter.
I thought he called him an idiot. I don't know. Either way, he basically said that it would be, just as bad, if not worse, under Triple H, which, if you watch the product, I think there's an argument to be made about that. And, now he's back, and he's like, oh, I love it. It's great. Me and Triple H, such great old buddies. Isn't it funny that we're friends now? Ha, 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 It's like the same thing that he used to say about Triple H. Like, oh, isn't it funny I wear suits now? Punk is doing the same thing. He's like, oh, isn't it funny? I'm wearing a suit now, and I'm friends with Triple H. Oh, it's so funny. It's like, yeah, you kind of went back on a lot of things you said you stood for, and you were trying to change, and you're trying to fight against. But WWE's better now, right? Because nobody knew what Vince was doing when he was doing it. No, they couldn't stop it. They were just... Sure. It's all fine now. Punk is all happy with it now. And he's calling Seth corporate. Right. Doofus son-in-law. There you go. Doofus son-in-law. Yeah. Thank you. That is right. His idiot daughter and his doofus son-in-law. Ugh. But Seth hit some good points on Punk. Like he hammered him.
He did.
He hammered him.
He did. Still think Punk won in the end of that one, but still, it was very good, very entertaining, and it adds for the match. It makes you excited for the match. It's one of the best, I think, face-to-faces they've done in a while.
Who wins? Nobody.
It's a great question. It's weird. I feel like Seth kind of has to win because he's the one wanting this more, I think, than Punk does.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Seth needs the vindication that he beats him finally. He slays this monster or whatever. Like Punk doesn't really seem to care about it that much. I mean, it's just something to do.
You might be right. Punk, though, I mean, it's still a big match for him. It's Netflix.
Of course.
I could see him winning, too. I could see it going either way, John. Right?
I always love the idea that you don't lose until, like, the big, pay-per-view PLE. And, I mean, this kind of is, but this isn't really the end of the road here. This isn't the big title match, so... I like the idea that Punk would be undefeated until he faces a champion. But I don't know if that's going to happen, because it's almost like a title match in a sense, too. And if it's the main event, I mean, that's justified if Punk's losing, I think. And a lot of nothing's still happening in the six-man. A lot of just standing there and holding each other.
I don't think it's the main event. Right now.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, there might be a promo thing afterwards, but I think this is the last match.
Dude. Tribal Combat for the Ula Fala? The Tribal Chief wrestling against Solo?
I'm mixing it up because I'm watching SmackDown. I'm mixing up like the six-man I'm talking about right now. Like that's the main event right now. But Tribal Combat, I agree that should be the main event. But I don't think it's wrong if Punk and Rollins is the main event. They're both equally very good.
I think it's got to be Roman. Roman is the centerpiece of the WWE. Your first show on Netflix has got to be headlined by Roman Reigns. And then it's got to have The Rock at the end getting involved in some way, no? I mean, don't we need that? Isn't that necessary at this point?
I don't know if it's necessary, but I think that's the best way to do the end of Raw. And that means Solo has to win this match right now that we're watching here.
Yeah. Which has gone on forever. Such a long match. It is Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu against Samuel Zayn and both of the Usos right now on SmackDown. It's going on right in front of us. It's happening. It's actually a commercial break. One of many commercial breaks on this SmackDown. It's unbelievable. There's barely any wrestling on this. I mean, there's a lot of wrestling on this show, but there's a lot of commercials too. A lot of commercials. Yes, Leor in the chat says, Tiffy Time. Tiffy Time is the new women's champion cashing in Money in the Bank tonight. That's definitely the headline of SmackDown. Shout out Angelo Contagones. Happy New Year to you. Doug Hepburn says he wants to wish his youngest boy a happy 14th birthday. Happy birthday, Brennan. Thank you, nice. Doug. Happy birthday, Brennan. Jason Pete in the chat as well. All members over at join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net, membership.ringsidereport.net to support the channel and keep us going in 2025. Because I am not watching all these wrestling shows for no reason. Let me tell you. God damn, pal. I am doing it for the Ringside Report Network. These shows are bad. John, you know, they're rough.
Let's get better.
It better get better. It better get better. It better.
Just gotta believe. Just gotta believe it's gonna get better. I think I think Raw is shaping up to be fantastic. I have a hard time believing Raw is gonna be bad this Monday.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Roman and Solo in the Tribal Combat. You've got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. You've got CM Punk and Seth Rollins. You've got the New Day against Rey and a mystery partner. Right?
That's correct. I know Ryan said something about like New Day has to win. I'm not sure about that.
Well,
I don't know if there's some more New Day has to win that match.
I think they should, though. I mean, I don't think it's a good spot to debut Pentagon because I think New Day should win based off, you know, they're running a new gimmick right now, and it's their first match after, you know, belittling Big E and turning fully heel. I think they should win.
I get you on that one, but like I don't think it's the end of the world for them to lose one match. I think they still be on their way to becoming tag champions. So you just get Penta his big moment, his big debut, and you just move on from that. New Day would be fine.
I don't know. I don't want...
You don't want to admit it.
No, I don't want Pentagon with Rey Mysterio. Can we stop? Like, you got a mask, so your first match and you're Mexican, so your first whatever, it's got to be with Rey. Everybody.
Yep.
They all get you're not even Mexican. You're like Dominican. Rey. Like, could we just separate them for a while? Maybe build it to make it something we want to see? Or you keep them separate and then one day they're together and people go, ooh. Instead of just doing it right away because he's Mexican and he's Mexican, so that'll work. Let's do the same thing we've always done. And this is what the problem is with his stupid booking, is that it's 50-50, nothing ever happens. He's just keeping the ship kind of running. Vince McMahon, for all his faults, took chances and risks. Sometimes they failed. Sometimes they were spectacular and made the WWF really what it was. The WWE under Vince McMahon's leadership was kind of, so-so. The past 15, 20 years of Vince were kind of rough. But my God, for 20, 25, 30 years, he ran the show real nice. And he took risks. He pushed the envelope. He didn't do the safe thing all the time. Triple H's booking is so safe all the time. He hasn't done any kind of risky move where you go, ooh, that's interesting. I don't know. And then it pays off. Hasn't happened. I don't think he has the capacity to do it. We've seen Triple H now in action. And it's been pretty cookie cutter. Pretty paint by numbers. Let's kind of do stuff we've always done and put a new spin on it. But there's not a new spin. There's not enough risks in the booking. It's very bland. It's very stale. And they're really just waiting for, Netflix to kick in and WrestleMania season. And even then, I'm not impressed with his performance. It's not been great.
George.
Right? It's been kind of going along, but not really pushing. Maybe Tony Khan is worse, Ryan. Maybe he is. Doesn't mean Triple H is great.
Well, it's year 2 now with him, right?
And what has he done?
I think it just goes to show you, we have our peak time, and when we don't have our peak time, it's just going to be a lot of what we see right now. A lot of just going through the motions. So, I mean, it's not easy with. I think when you have a lot of talent, I think it's easy just for things to get lost. And I think we're seeing this right now, where it's just you're seeing a lot of people, but it's just a lot of not much happening. We had Cody to start the show with Drew McIntyre. That was names. That was nice to see, but not much really happened with all that. Yeah, not much really happened with all that.
Okay, and what you just said, John, is what the WWE has been for the past year. Yeah. Names. Which is nice to see, but nothing much happens. They give you the stars, but the stars don't do anything. Nothing progresses with them. Nothing changes. They just continue.
It's going to be a huge work in progress here, the way they manage SmackDown now. I mean, it's nice to see the ring is kind of different now. The tarp's different, blue. I like the feel of blue, the lighting as well. I know you laugh it's a little, but I always feel the shows look too identical. So it's nice they're trying something different. But you need more than just that, though, I think.
Yeah, you need more than a blue ring mat, John. I think you need something a little better than this. rough.
Well, we'll see.
They're
We'll
in
see.
rough shape.
See what happens.
Rough shape.
I'd give them time here. I'd give them time here. I wouldn't say it's the end of the world here, but and I think it's weird. I think maybe the lack of house shows now that they've come back on house shows, this might actually help them focus more on making the TV better, possibly.
How's that working out for them? I think it's just turning TV into house shows. Where, you go to a house show and nothing ever happens. You have a title match, but the title's not going to change because it's just a house show. That's what TV is now. Forget that. That's what pay-per-views are now. How many of these PLEs have we watched where it's like big stars, title matches, nothing happens? That's a house show. They just have pyro and they put it on TV. But it's the same thing. Triple H's booking is like Triple H's wrestling. Gives you very little. And then when he gives you a little bit, people go, oh, wow, I guess that was something. It wasn't great, but, it was more than usual. Yeah, that's my Mania match. Yeah, all right. Good job, pal. Fucking sucked as a wrestler, sucks as a booker. Doofus.
Could be better. I won't disagree with you on that one. Could be better. But again, I think business is about to pick up, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Well, it should on Monday, and then for the next few Raws on Netflix. But aren't they doing like a big European tour going into WrestleMania?
Yeah, when does that start exactly? Is that like mid-February or something?
I thought it was March.
Or is it March? Okay.
Yeah.
Mixing up the months.
That's terrible.
Yeah, good luck
That's
with
a
that.
terrible idea. Because when they go to Europe, nothing ever happens. Especially nothing happens in Europe. So they're going to have a whole month of just like nothing building to Mania. They need to do stuff in Europe. Like they need to have, things actually transpire.
Yeah.
This match is still going on. It's not been great.
It is. It's a never-ending match right here. This is like easily... They're going to crack 20-minute matches finally. Like, it's been a while, but they're easily doing it here tonight. They're doing everything tonight. And this is the dreaded six-man tag, too. Like, some of the worst matches in WWE history are six-man tags.
Taking forever. Oh, okay. Here comes the finish, John, because it's 10:57 and Drew McIntyre just walked out. So Drew McIntyre's not in this match. He has just walked out. Oh, Jacob Fatu misses clothesline, misses another clothesline. Oh, and Jey Uso dives onto Drew McIntyre. Why did he do that? Drew McIntyre's not in this match. That's going to backfire on you, you stupid Jey Uso. Now he goes to the top where Jacob Fatu's just standing there waiting for him, and he ducks him. And then Jacob picks him up, and Samoan drops him, obviously. Jey Uso's never watched wrestling before. He doesn't understand. It's a 2 count. That you're not supposed to attack the other guy outside the ring. Because it bites you in the ass eventually. Because that's how Triple H books this shit. So it's a 2 count, but Jacob has Jey Uso basically dead. Jey Uso could kick out, but he can't, like... His corpse is like lifeless. He's dragging him into a corner. And now Jacob has tagged in Solo so that Solo may finish him off with the dreaded Samoan spike. Oh, Jacob doing the running butt move in the face. Oh no, Jey Uso missed his butt. Jey Uso with a super kick on Solo. It's a comeback for Jey Uso. It's a minor comeback. Right, and now he just speared Jacob Fatu. But he thinks Jacob Fatu is a legal man. And he's going to the top rope. Watch out, Jey Uso. Solo's actually legal. And he's just been bumped outside the ring. You just hit the big splash on Jacob. And you think you've won. But Solo just hit the Samoan spike on you and is going to pin you and win. 2, 3. Sami Zayn not in time to break up the pin count. And Solo Sikoa and the boys have won. What a finish. Not really. That sucked. Just so
thanks for
kind
kind of showing up there, Sammy. Everyone else was dead, but at least Sammy was half dead.
Kill Sammy
That's
now.
something.
They got to kill Sammy. Solo, kill Sammy. Death to Sammy. No? Are they going to kill him? Jay is dead. Jaymond has been destroyed by Solo and the boys. How come Jay didn't know that they tagged?
I think he was too dead at that point.
He was
right?
in the
He was
corner, and they made a big deal out of it. Jacob did this to him. He tagged it. There was a big deal tag. How did Jay not see that? How was he unaware that they made the tag? They made Jay look kind of stupid on that finish there. And that was the end of SmackDown. That match was dumb. The finish was bad. SmackDown tonight sucked, except for Tiffy Time winning. That was cool. I like Tiffy Time. Oh, Jey Uso's going to wrestle Drew McIntyre on Monday. That's exciting. Wow. How exciting, John. Ooh, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea's going to take the belt from her finally here. Come on. It's enough of this, no?
Well, I thought it was going to be a last woman standing, but apparently it's just a regular match. So I'm not sure if Rhea's
John Cena is going to be on Raw, John. Sorry. What?
It's probably going to start Raw.
Holy shit, Solo's still in the ring?
They were showing Punk and they showed Punk and Rollins as the last match. So, makes you wonder. I think it's going to be a main event of one of the hours, right? More than likely, that's going to happen. We'll see. That was the first 3-hour SmackDown. It is finally over, thank God.
I give it 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, it's not the greatest SmackDown in the world. No. I miss 2-hour SmackDown. Hopefully Raw will be better.
Oh.
What
I
happened?
lost you for a second.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully Raw will be better. Well, Raw's going to be 2 hours or 3?
They haven't said, because I feel like they could go as long as they want.
Yeah.
It's Netflix, right? So
yeah.
We'll wait and see.
It could be 2.5.
I wouldn't mind that. As long as it's good. If it's 3 hours, as long as it's good, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's good, John. Hopefully it's good. The card is okay. Honestly, it's not that exciting of a card. Seth and Punk is kind of cool, but the rest of it, Roman and Solo, I feel like we've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who gets to wear the thing. Oofalafa. I don't care.
I didn't mind the promo by Heyman tonight. I thought it was all right.
Oh, fuck. Really?
I thought Heyman was fine. Just when Solo came out, then I'm like, okay, this is kind of going too long.
I hated it. Heyman was just saying, oh, Solo, he did this to me, and then he did that. He just recapped. It was a recap. It was just eating up time. He didn't say anything. It was another one of these filler promos. God, man. Everybody's just doing stuff like Triple H used to do. Triple H used to come out and talk for 20 minutes on TV every Raw. 2-3 times a show sometimes. He'd come out, cut these promos. He'd talk forever and say nothing. He would just recap what had happened between him and whoever he was feuding with, usually Randy Orton. And then he would talk about what he was going to do to Randy Orton at whatever event was coming up next. And it took forever to get there. He didn't say anything. He didn't add anything. He was just like, Randy did this to me last week and the week before, and then at the pay-per-view before that, and I'm going to beat him at the next one with the pedigree because I'm the best, and I'm the measuring stick, and he's no match for me, except it took 30 minutes. And there's a lot of in there. And it was every week. And then the match sucked. So if this is the measuring stick, as he said, well, we're not measuring too high. We're not reaching new heights here. Right? If he's the measuring stick, John, is he still the measuring stick for the WWE, like what he did? It seems like it.
I would think, especially people now, I'm sure they look up to Triple H, and like he is pretty much what everyone looks up to try to be like.
He was awful.
I wasn't a fan, but I think the way they have it now, a lot of people like what he's doing. They like his leadership, so they're very happy with what he does, and that will make him one of the best wrestlers of all time now, because that's usually what happens too. Like, if you're a great like booker or promoter or something, well, then you're a good wrestler too. It doesn't matter if you were bad or anything. Like, you were great. You can change history.
I don't think a great booker necessarily has to be loved by his talent. I think what's happening is Triple H is booking for the talent instead of for the audience. Look at who he's putting over. Look at who he's giving belts to. Not people that are over, but people that the locker room feels deserve it. DIY, Motor City Machine Guns. You make a mid-card belt for the women. This is not something that the audience was clamoring for. This is something for the locker room.
Right.
The Viking Raiders, you know what I mean? These are locker room people. These aren't over talent. These aren't popular stars. Cody's a good guy. He's well-liked in the locker room. He's making locker room decisions. He's booking for the boys, which is going to keep everything happy and nice and easy for him. And as long as they keep making money and making big deals and Nick Khan does his job in that respect, well, he doesn't have to worry, right? We'll see. I mean, Netflix is going to get the numbers about, on who's actually watching Raw, who's watching SmackDown, who's streaming, how many people. They'll know. They'll know. It should increase.
Super chat.
The people watching Monday Night Raw, like, you would think that Netflix is in more homes in the United States than the USA Network.
I would think that's the way it is. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if they'll ever release the numbers, though, of like who's actually streaming it, though. I mean, maybe they'll say like they hit a mark or something, but that's about it. You're not going to get a whole thing about it, I imagine.
They have approximately 67 million subscribers in the United States.
You're talking about Netflix as a whole?
Yeah. No, in the U.S.
Okay.
And the USA Network is apparently available to approximately 71 million households in the U.S. So they do have a bigger reach, the USA Network, technically, but I find that hard to believe. And worldwide, like apparently as the third quarter of 2024, Netflix had 84.8 million paid subscribers in the U.S. and Canada. That's an increase of over 7 million subscribers from the same quarter in 2023.
Wow.
So I would think that the viewership of Raw would increase. because of Netflix, because it's more accessible, because it's just right there, because, I mean, they say that the USA Network isn't available in all these homes, but, like, who has TV anymore? I think it's kind of an older generation that may not be watching WWE, because if they're watching it, they're already watching it, and if they don't watch it, they're not going to start now because it's on the USA Network. But if you're maybe a younger person and you're watching Netflix and you're trying to find something to watch, you may watch wrestling and see, oh, this is live right now? What is this? You may tune in. You may become a new fan. I feel like they should get new fans off of this. But if Triple H isn't doing his job and the product sucks and it's boring, well, they won't get new fans. I'll turn off old fans too. So they better be ready for Monday. They better be goddamn ready for Monday, because it's put up or shut up here. You gotta really go. You gotta have something big for Monday, and you gotta start with Monday and then push all the way through to WrestleMania. Because starting Monday, Raw, Netflix, Los Angeles, and then you've got 3 more Raws after that before the Royal Rumble. It's go time.
Work.
Get to work.
I think they'll be fine. I mean, there's definitely an easily way to make a lot of talent shine on this one. They have more than enough people to work with. So, and I think they're just going to have like Roman, Cody. They're going to have to be on Raw more often now.
Yeah. Roman is for sure.
Well, I think, I don't know about you, I think Cody and Kevin, that's one of the best things they have, if not the best thing they have going on. So they need to put that on Raw. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it, I think.
Well, they're going to have a ladder match at the Rumble. I don't know what else you got to do at this point. Like, how many times does Kevin Owens attack Cody before the Rumble?
Not attack. If anything, like, Cody shouldn't get attacked too much. Like, he should be selling more. Like, the fact he came back way too soon, that's a big problem. By the way, like, Naomi hit a power driver. Did she not in her match tonight? Like, I don't see Nia going off on a stretcher, but I guess it depends what kind of power driver it is, I guess.
Think this through with me for a second, John. Logically, okay? Kevin Owens wants a rematch with Cody Rhodes for the belt, right? He wanted the rematch. He demanded the rematch, right?
Right.
He attacks Cody. Injures Cody. Right?
Yeah.
Then Cody signs up for a match with Kevin at the Royal Rumble on February 1st, right?
Yep.
Follow me here. Cody tonight tells us that he would wrestle on Raw on Netflix, but he can't because he is not medically cleared to compete. Okay?
Okay.
So he's still injured. Not cleared to compete. Cannot wrestle in the WWE. So Kevin Owens, knowing this, wanting his match at the Royal Rumble for the championship, attacks Cody Rhodes again tonight, possibly injuring him further, rendering him unable to compete, not only on Raw, but perhaps for several weeks or months past the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, there's a bit of a flaw there. You know? Unless
yes and no.
you're going to tell me, well, Kevin hates him so much, and if he takes Cody out altogether and he can't wrestle again, he'll have to give up the belt, and Kevin will get it that way, and he doesn't care how because he hates Cody so much. I mean, if you want to say that to me, John, I'd rather you not repeat it verbatim, but, you know. Yeah, I guess. But, you know what I mean? There's a bit of it's a little shaky. It's like, well, if he's hurt, how do you, like, if this were the UFC, right, and a guy had, like, a neck injury, he wouldn't sign up for a fight in a month.
I think you can do that if I'm not mistaken.
You know? That's the thing. I was kind of like, what? If he's not medically cleared to compete now, what makes you think he's going to be cleared to compete in 4 weeks at the Rumble?
No, you're right. Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
And if Kevin attacks him again, it's like, well, that's not going to help him. Anyway.
And he probably will too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's going to wrestle because it's all fake, John, but, you know, it's just dumb. Anyways, Angelo had a question for us on the Super Chat. Thank you, Angelo. He says, what do you guys think about AEW Dynamite's new theme song?
Yeah. So excited.
I'm so excited, right? And I just can't hide it. I mean, it was... I thought it was just for one night. Is that every week?
I think it's every week.
It's kind of funny. I don't know. I don't hate it. I know a lot of people hate it, but I'm kind of like, yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun song, I guess. Maybe they got it cheap and they thought, I don't know. I mean, some of the wrestling songs aren't great. The intro songs are not great. What's Raw's theme song? It must suck.
You're right. I mean, the new songs are usually awful. They've been awful for years.
Yeah.
And it's a better idea to go back to like the 80s. That's some of the better songs. It's just, I find when you're thinking about the intro to a wrestling show, that song in particular doesn't really get you excited to watch wrestling.
No?
No, I don't find. I just find it's very off-putting. But I guess someone thought it was a good idea.
What song gets you excited to watch wrestling?
Honestly, like the Collision song is like the perfect song, I find.
The Elton John?
Yeah.
That gets you excited to... I mean, the songs are similar in, like, vibe.
I find the vibe is totally different.
Really?
Like,
I feel like they're both
different.
kind of like 70s party cocaine songs. No? Seems like a lot of drugs are being consumed with both songs. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it, because I'm fucking coked up right now, and I'm fucking, you know? I think that's what's going on with that song, and with Elton John, like, you know, 70s, I think he was... So, I don't know, man. I don't have a problem with the theme song. I think it's fine. I think most wrestling show theme songs are bad. This one stands out, certainly, but, like, I don't know if there's a song that, like, I'm not going to hear the song and go, oh, I don't want to watch wrestling now. Like, oh, let me tune into Dynamite. Let's see what's Dynamite tonight. Oh, no, I'm so excited. Oh, okay. I don't want to watch this show anymore. Like, really? It's going to turn you off the show entirely? It's going to change your mood that much? Mute it. I mean, shit.